YouTube streaming started, sir.
Okay. Viva ma'am, you may proceed. सभी पार्टिसिपेंट को अलाउ कर दे.
Yes, yes.
Sir, let Kanode sir to join.
झाले मॅडम.
झाले का? Okay, sir.
हेलो विभा मैम. विभा मैम स्टार्ट करिए.
येस सर. येस सर. आवाज येतोय?
हो हो कंटिन्यू.
ब्रेकिंग होते का वॉइस?
नाही नाही बरं आहे सर्व. तुम्ही कंटिन्यू करा प्लीज.
अच्छा सुरू करू का?
ओके
ओके. Very good morning to one and all participants who joined this webinar. I welcome you all. My name is Dr. Vibha Nikose, Assistant Professor with Directive College, Silu. It gives me immense pleasure to extend to you a warm welcome on behalf of IQAC, Women's Cell and NSS Department of Vidyabharati College, Selu, Yashwantrao Chauhan Arts, Commerce and Science College, Lakhandu, and Arts and Science College, Pulgaon. Jointly organize this webinar, one day state level, today's equality status of women in India on the occasion of General Equality Day celebration. I welcome all the convener of this program, Dr. Sanjay Kanode sir, Principal, Vidyabharati College, Selu, Dr. Daude sir, Principal, Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Lakhandur, and Hadge sir, Principal, Arts and Science College, Pulgaon. I also welcome organizing secretaries, IQAC coordinators, and IQAC members of all the three colleges. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Pravina Khobragade, our today's guest and resource person from RTME News, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar College of Law, Nagpur. At the first step of this program, I want to request Dr. Rakesh Thakre sir, IQC member, NSS program officer, Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Lakhandu, to give opening remark for this webinar. Sir, proceed. Thakre sir.
Thank you ma'am. Yes sir. Yes ma'am. Thank you. Good morning to one and all. We are gathered here today to celebrate the Women's Equality Day. Which is to be celebrated on 20th. It's a play to have such a program on women's equality in collaboration with Yashwantrao Arts and Science College, Pulgaon, Vidyabharati College, Selu, and Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Lakhandur. Lakhandur Women's Cell and NSS Cell jointly organized today's one-day online workshop on women's equality, and the main topic is today's status of women in Indian society. Regarding this, I, Dr. Rakesh Thakre, NSS, Yashwantrao Chauhan College, Lakhandur, as well as IQAC member, welcome you all, the respected speakers, and my dear participant friends and respected teachers among the participants. So it is great experience to organize programs with Vidyabhati College, Gurgaon. First of all, my thanks to the management of Vidyabhati College, Selu and Arts and Science College, Selu, as well as the honorable management of my college, Yashwantra Chauhan College, Lakhandur, to constant support and cooperation of management to organize such type of the programs for welfare of our students and society even. Secondly, I want to congratulate and I want to give my thanks to respected principals of College Consortia, Dr. Kanode sir, Principal Arts and Science College, Gurgaon, and Honorable Dr. J.V. Darve, Vice College, Lakhandur, permission and constant support to our programs. I also congratulate Miss Karuna Ganbir ma'am, Vidyabhati College, Selu, Dr. Vibha Nikose ma'am, NSS coordinator, Vidyabhati Banginma coordinator, interactive and collaborative workshop on today's very essential and important topic, women's equality. So once again, to be part of the program and hope all the participants, students and professors who are going to attend this program will be definitely benefited by today's workshop. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Nikosha ma'am, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Now I would like to request Dr. Karuna Ganbir madam, Women's Cell Convener and IQC member of Vidyabharati College, to enlighten us about this webinar.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
मॅडम
Yes, sir.
मला
Yes, sir.
स्क्रीन शेअर नाही होऊन राहिला. मी दिसतोय का तुम्हाला?
हो सर. कानोडे सर. कानोडे सर.
हा
हो सर, दिसत आहे तुम्ही.
मला शेअर नाही होऊन राहिला पण स्क्रीन.
सर स्क्रीन शेअरिंग अजून सुरू व्हायचं आहे.
काय म्हटलं?
सर सर आम्ही दिसत नाही का सर?
हो तुम्ही दिसताय.
ओके.
हो
हा सर.
ठीक आहे बोल चालू करा.
Sir, can I start now?
Yes, start it.
Yes. Thank you very much, Vibha ma'am, for inviting me. A very good morning to one and all the participants who has joined this webinar on one-day state level webinar on women on gender equality. And the topic is today's equality status of women in India. Deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Sanjay Kanode sir, Dr. Dadve sir, and Dr. Hedge sir. Thank you very much for being a convener for this program. Women's Cell is created at every institute, college, or university level just to provide an equal status to the woman and to reduce disparity and discrimination on the basis of sex or gender of a person. It has clearly written in the preamble of our Indian Constitution that there should not be discrimination or disparity on the basis of sex or gender of a person. But nowadays, the difference is seen between the theoretical and the practical attitude in the context of women, because women on account of being a woman have to face domination and as well as harassment on several accounts. The main purpose of our laws, our developmental policies, planning and programs in our democratic setup is to empower women and to ascertain their participation in all activities. Overall objective of gender equality is to create a society where women and men will enjoy the same opportunities, rights, and obligations in all spheres of life. Our vision is not only to organize workshops and seminars on women empowerment, men, and health issues, but to do more than that. This cell always try to organize lead academic, medical, cultural, social events for the upliftment of women. Our vision is to spread a real importance of gender equality in society with our students. Today, I hope this webinar will be really beneficial for all women to stimulate and spark the mind. My best wish to all women for their success journey, not only for themselves, for their families, for society and our nation. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to present this introductory. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words. Now, I want to request Dr. Sanjay Kanode, sir, convener and principal of Vidyabharati College, Selu, to guide us and give his remark for this webinar. Sir, Kanode, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Very good morning to all. On the occasion of Gender Equality Day, today we are going to jointly organize one-day state level webinar on today's equality status of women in India. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Pravina Khobragade Madam, Assistant Professor, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar College, Nagpur, as a resource person of today's webinar. We know the present situation about COVID-19 pandemic and shutdown of educational institutions all over the India due to the serious issue. We are unable to attend, we are unable to celebrate offline this day. I also congressed to Dr. J.V. Dadve sir, Principal, YC College, Lakhandur, Dr. V.B. Hadge sir, Principal, Arts and Science College, Pulgaon, and our IQC coordinator, Dr. Ashish Tiple, coordinator, Women's Cell coordinator, Dr. Karuna Ganvir madam, NSS coordinator, Dr. Nikose ma'am, and all the respective faculties of both the colleges, and best wishes to them for their successful organization this webinar. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your constant guidance and support and blessing you give us, and that increase our strength to organize such a program. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I request Dr. P.M. Thakre, sir, Vice Principal, Yashwantrao Chavan College, Lakhandur, to give us his remark for this webinar. P.M. Thakre, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
लोकल पब्लिशर के बुक मार्क नहीं मिलेंगे, लोकल लेवल पब्लिशर के मार्क नहीं मिलेंगे। म्यूट है ना?
Just a minute, ma'am. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
मी प्राध्यापक PM ठाकरे, इन्चार्ज प्रिन्सिपल वायके कॉलेज लाखांदूर. आज आयोजित भारतातील आजच्या परिस्थितीत असणारी स्त्रियांची समानता या विषयावर आयोजित वेबिनार या कार्यक्रमाचे आयोजक डॉक्टर SS कोंडे, प्रिन्सिपाल कानोडे सर, प्राचार्य डॉक्टर JV दडवे सर, डॉक्टर AV हाडगे सर, and organizer committee. भारतातील आजच्या परिस्थितीत स्त्रियांच्या समानतेची स्थिती तर भारताच्या प्राचीन कालखंडापासून आणि स्वातंत्र्याच्या कालखंडात भारतात स्त्रियांची स्थिती निश्चितच पुरुषांच्या तुलनेत दुय्यम आहे. स्त्रियांना पुरुषांच्या बरोबरीचं स्थान भारतातील कुठल्याही क्षेत्रात
डॉक्टर ठाकरे सर. डॉक्टर ठाकरे सर, आर यू हिअर मी? डॉक्टर ठाकरे सर.
हॅलो.
हा,
हिंदू कोड बिल पार्लमेंट समोर आणले असताना स्त्रियांना समानतेचा दर्जावा म्हणून बाबासाहेब आंबेडकरांनी 1952 पार्लमेंट समोर हिंदू कोड बिल आणलं. त्यालाही तेव्हाच्या सत्ताधाऱ्यांनी आणि राज्यकर्त्यांनी उच्चवर्णीय समाजातील स्त्रियांना समोर करून स्त्रियांचा कुठेतरी स्त्रियांवर आघात करण्यासाठी हे कोड बिल आणलं आहे. स्त्रियांचं अस्तित्व हिरावून घेण्यासाठी हे कोड बिल आणलं आहे. अशा पद्धतीने स्त्रियांचीच मानसिकता खराब करून स्त्रियांना त्या बिलाच्या विरोधात जागृत करायचं, त्या विरोध करायसाठी उच्चवर्णीय स्त्रियांना समोर करण्यात आलं आणि ते बिल हाणून पाडण्यासाठी प्रयत्न करण्यात आला. आणि त्यामुळे आजपर्यंत भारताच्या जे महत्वाच्या डिसिजन मेकिंग संस्था आहेत, भारताची पार्लमेंट असेल, एक्झिक्युटिव्ह असेल, यामध्ये स्त्रियांना महत्वाचं स्थान प्राप्त झालेलं नाही. इव्हन एवढंच नव्हे तर भारतामध्ये वारसा हक्काचा कायदा सुद्धा जे पुरुष मुलगा आणि मुलगी जेंडर इक्वॅलिटी नाही, जे दोघांनाही वडिलाच्या प्रॉपर्टीमध्ये समान हक्क देत असताना अशा प्रकारचा हक्क देणं सुद्धा बरेच दिवस नाकारण्यात आलं. जस्टली आता मला वाटतं या जुलै ऑगस्ट महिन्यामध्ये ज्या 2020 मध्ये काही महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय देण्यात आला आणि या निर्णयानुसार वडिलांच्या प्रॉपर्टीमध्ये वारसा हक्क कायदा स्त्री आणि पुरुष दोघांनाही समान असेल असा एवढ्यातच सुप्रीम कोर्टाने निर्णय दिलेला. भारतात एक महत्वाचा एक मैलस्टोन म्हणजे स्त्रियांच्या सन्मानाच्या संदर्भात घडलेला मैलस्टोन भारताच्या संविधानाच्या संदर्भात 73-74वी घटनादुरुस्ती 1992-93 ला करण्यात आली. आणि या घटनादुरुस्तीच्या माध्यमातून लोकल गव्हर्नमेंट इन्स्टिट्यूशन मध्ये स्थानिक स्वराज्य संस्थांमध्ये स्त्रियांना 33% आरक्षणाची तरतूद करून ग्रामीण विकासामध्ये स्त्रियांचं योगदान लाभून घेण्याचा एक प्रयत्न करण्यात आला. त्यानंतर 2002 मध्ये जवळपास महाराष्ट्र शासनाने आणि काही राज्य सरकारने स्त्रियांना स्थानिक स्वराज्य संस्थांमध्ये 50% आरक्षणाची तरतूद करून स्त्रियांचा ग्रामीण भागाच्या विकासामध्ये हातभार लागावा यासाठी मोलाचे अशा प्रकारची एक घटना दुरुस्ती भारतामध्ये करण्यात आली आणि स्त्रियांचा सहभाग वाढविण्याचा प्रयत्न करण्यात आला असला तरी हे चित्र फार भूषणावह नाही. कारण महत्वाच्या ज्या डिसिजन मेकिंग भारताची पार्लमेंट आहे, भारताच्या घटक राज्याच्या विधिमंडळ असतील, या विधिमंडळामध्ये स्त्रियांचा सहभागाचं प्रमाण काय तर जास्तीत जास्त कुठेही 10% पेक्षा जास्त. भारताच्या पार्लमेंटमध्ये आजपर्यंत घटक राज्याच्या विधिमंडळामध्ये कार्यकारिणीमध्ये स्त्रियांचं प्रमाण आजपर्यंत 70 वर्षामध्ये 10% पेक्षा जास्त नाही. की एकूण सिटीजन मध्ये एकूण नागरिकत्वामध्ये स्त्रियांचं प्रमाण हे 50% पेक्षा जास्त आहे. पण महत्वाच्या निर्णय घेणाऱ्या एजन्सीज मध्ये स्त्रियांचं प्रमाण हे निश्चितच नगण्य असल्यामुळे स्त्रियांना डिसिजन मेकिंग मध्ये पुरुषांच्या बरोबरीचं स्थान नसल्यामुळे निश्चितच त्या स्वतःचं संरक्षण करू शकतील अशा प्रकारची परिस्थिती भारतामध्ये आजही नाही किंवा स्त्रियांना पुरुषांच्या नाही. राजकीय क्षेत्रातच नव्हे तर सामाजिक क्षेत्रामध्ये, आर्थिक क्षेत्रामध्ये स्त्रियांना महत्वाचे डिसिजन घेण्यामध्ये निश्चितच पुरुषाच्या बरोबरीचा किंवा एज्युकेशन मध्ये मुलीच्या शिक्षणाच्या संदर्भात आणि मुलाच्या शिक्षणाच्या संदर्भात याकडे पाहण्याचा समाजाचा दृष्टिकोन आजपर्यंत पूर्णतः बदललेला नाही. आणि त्यामुळे आजची स्त्रियांची भारतातील स्थिती काय तर या स्थितीमध्ये म्हणावे तेवढा पाहिजे तसा काही महत्वपूर्ण बदल आजपर्यंत त्यासाठी भारतात जेवढ्या एजन्सी असतील, महत्वाच्या ज्या डिसिजन मेकिंग संस्था असतील, या डिसिजन मेकिंग संस्थांमध्ये पार्लमेंट असेल, एक्झिक्युटिव्ह असेल, न्यायपालिका असेल, या महत्वपूर्ण संस्थांमध्ये स्त्रियांना जोपर्यंत जास्तीत जास्त पार्टिसिपेशन सहभाग मिळत नाही किंवा रिझर्वेशन मिळत नाही तोपर्यंत निश्चितच भारताच्या या म्हणजे स्त्रियांच्या स्थानामध्ये फार मोठा मूलाग्र बदल होईल असं काही वाटत नाही. थँक्यू.
Thank you, sir. Madam, over to you.
Yes, thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I request Dr. Pravina Khobragade, madam, to give his inspiring words and share her views with us. Now I am talking about her biodata. She has done his BSc, LLM, NET, and PhD. And now she is working as an assistant professor, RTMA News, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar College of Law. She has 18-year teaching experience. She is a law officer of RTMA University, member secretary, University Grievance Committee, member secretary, University Draft Statute Committee, member University Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace. Apart from this, she was in charge principal. She is recognized as a PhD supervisor, and under her guidance, he is a research scholar who recently submitted PhD thesis. She has published many research papers in national, international journals and present and participate in many national and international conferences. She has invited as an expert talk on legal and other issues by Nagpur as well as Mumbai Doordarshan, Akashvani and online channels. She contributes her duties for society doing social services. With that, I ask that all of you please give attention to Dr. Pravina Khobragade, madam. Madam, please proceed.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. The organizers of today's one-day state level webinar on the occasion of the celebration of Gender Equality Day, which is on the topic today's equality status of women in India. The convener of this webinar, Dr. S.S. Kanwade sir, Dr. J.Y. Dave sir, Dr. V.V. Hadge sir, Professor P.M. Thackeray, Vice Principal of YC College, and the team members of the organizing committee and the organizing secretaries of all these three colleges, the faculty members, the students, and all others, those who have joined this webinar on this day. This today's topic, that is today's equality status of women in India, I think it is of the great importance. Why to discuss on this issue? Firstly, I want to say thanks to the organizers for choosing this topic for today's discussion and the deliberation. I'm happy that the higher educational institutions are coming forward and taking this topic, taking this issue, taking this matter for the discussions and for the further actions. I congratulate the organizing committee. Friends, this topic, today's equality status of women in India, very sorry to, my screen is, I'm not able to share my screen. Can you provide me the assistance that I'm not able to share my screen? Organizers, please.
Yes, ma'am. Any issue?
I cannot share, sir. I cannot go forward with my PPT presentation.
Okay. So you have to unshare. You have to unshare the screen first.
So there is a one new share. Shall I go and new share?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Now everybody can see that what this picture says. Here, the two genders, between the two genders, there is a sign of equality. The question is whether this picture of equality between men and women, is it existing today? More specifically in India, as our topic today is restricted to the Indian situation. My topic, that is today's equality status of women in India, I have divided this topic into three sections. The first section, there will be the discussion on the general idea about the gender equality. This gender equality, and in order to achieve the goal of gender equality, what the actions the state has to initiate or has to take. Under those actions, there is a one step which the state has to do, that is to legislate on the laws, on the issues which are of concern to this gender equality. So I selected one legislation, very important legislation, and that is the sexual harassment of women at workplace, prevention, prohibition, redressal, the Act of 2013. And the third section of my discussion, it will be with respect to the higher educational institutions and the implementation of this sexual harassment enactment. Coming to the first part of my discussion, that is the general idea about this gender equality. As you know, and this other speakers, they have also told about that what is the role of woman in the society, and this issue, that what is the status of woman, whether she is having that primary role, whether she is having the secondary role or the secondary position, then all over India, not only all over India, but it is at the global level, the women constitute half of the world population, perform nearly 2/3 of the workers, receive 1/4 of world's income, and own less than 100% of world's property. Now, what this situation it connotes? It says that though the woman, she is involving herself in the building, in the nation building, she shares, she gives her working hours for the society, firstly for the family, then for the society, for the nation. Then what is her contribution in the GDP? What is her contribution in the nation building? And yes, as far as this statement is concerned, that they constitute half of the population and they own less than 100% of the world property, then this situation, it is very alarming. Now, in order to solve, or in order to have the kind of the churning on this issue, that why the situation it is there, the only reason which come up before, that is that there is a gender inequality. What the position man enjoys in the society, that similar position the woman is not able to enjoy. Then why? So there is a historical background. Historical background says that always the woman has been given that secondary position, and therefore this secondary position, it curtails all her rights to develop. And therefore, because of this gender inequality, this is that gender equality, and this is what the picture is saying on the screen, that there is a equal, that sign is there between the men and the woman. Then whether that picture it is conveying the real situation. Now this gender equality, in general, the gender equality, it is the state of equal ease of access to resources, the opportunities, regardless of the gender, including economic participation and the decision making. Why the women, they are not getting those opportunities, why they are not getting the resources, and why only the men, they are enjoying these resources comparatively on the higher side. Now this gender equality, which is saying that this is the whenever there is a gender equality, question of the gender equality, the state should provide, because it is the all we are living in that welfare state, okay, under the welfare state concept. So it becomes the primary obligation of the state to provide all the resources, to provide all the opportunity to all the genders for their overall development. Now this gender equality, which is not in existence in the society, why we require this gender equality? Because this gender equality, it is very helpful to resolve the societal conflicts and to gain the economic stability to both the genders. The economic stability, now we can see, we can feel that how far this gender, that is the female gender, is enjoying the economic stability. As far as
the overall development of any person is concerned, the overall development of the personality is concerned, what is required according to my view, there should be the economic stability of one person, then only that gender can prosper. And therefore, this, in order to achieve this economic stability, the gender equality, it has to be there. It is considered that this is the fundamental human right. The gender equality, it is not so easy term which is used in the general parlance, but it is a fundamental human right. Fundamental human right. What do you mean by the human right? The human right means the right which is required by any person in order to have its development, overall development of the personality of that person, and those rights which are there to give that and to receive that personality, those are all come under that the main that class, that is the human rights. Okay, so the gender equality is nothing but the fundamental human right, and it is the foundation for the peaceful, prosperous, and the sustainable society. Why I'm saying so, that it is the foundation for peaceful, prosperous, and the sustainable society. As I said that it is the woman class, it is constituting the half of the world population, and the same to Miss, as far as the India is concerned, in India, the woman is also forming that, not exactly towards the half of the population, but it is somewhat lesser. When that particular class is forming one part of the society, then don't you think that if that particular class, which is called as a woman, if, if she has all the rights to develop her personality, then nothing but the contribution will be towards the peaceful society. If she is allowed to exercise all her faculties for her development, for the development of the society, for the economic development of the society, then yes, there has to be prosperity of herself and as well as the family and the society. And at last, this is the nation. So in order to have this sustainable society, which will work for the good for all the person, the gender equality, I am again saying that gender equality, it forms the foundation, the basis for the peaceful, prosperous, and the sustainable society. Now let us see that, is there any relation between this gender equity, gender equality, and the empowerment of women, the empowerment of women, for which we are now, today, we are celebrating that empowerment of women and the gender equality day. So is there any connection between this gender equity, gender equality, and the empowerment? Gender equity, it is the process of being fair to men and women both. Okay, for example, means how we can go for such a kind of the situation where there is or there will be the gender equity. Okay, as you know that since long, since ancient period, the woman, she has been given the secondary treatment. Okay, now this secondary, in order to because she was getting that secondary treatment, she could not prosper, and therefore this becomes the duty of the state, that is to take the measures to compensate women's historical disadvantaged position. And this is called as the process. Means if one state is taking those steps, those measures to compensate women's historical disadvantaged position, then the society or that state is marching towards the gender equity, means the process of being fair to both men and women. Now this gender equity, it leads to gender equality. Now, gender equality, what it requires? The gender equality requires that equal enjoyment by men and women of socially valued goods, opportunities, and resources. How we can have this gender equality by providing those resources, by providing the opportunities. Now these opportunities, it can be in any field, like the employment, like the somewhat the political opportunities, the social opportunities. Okay, resources means when you make one woman educationally very sound, socially sound, economically sound, then these resources which makes them well equipped, and thereby by enjoying that equal status, by equal enjoyment of all these resources and the opportunity, it creates gender equality. Now this gender equality, it is promoting gender equality is the empowerment of women. Now, while empowering the woman empowerment, it means what does it connotes? What it means, it is giving the more autonomy to women to manage their own lives. If that opportunity is given, it means that you are empowering that woman and you are making the foundation of that particular society. When this empowered woman, she will work, then you can see the results. Results will be before us, that yes, this very empowered woman, what she can do the miracles, she can take any challenges. Now, as far as the discussion of the gender equality, this discussion, it would be incomplete if I don't mention the work and what the person he has done for the empowerment of women. Yes, I'm talking about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the architect of Indian Constitution, the savior of women. Dr. Ambedkar, what he used to say, that what I see, the development of the woman, it is directly connected with the development of that society. If we see that the woman of that particular society is developed, means to what extent the development she has reached, she has gained, on the basis of that, this is the development of the society, it has to be measured. And therefore, whatever the provisions he has introduced, and this is the constitutional committee, that is the committee they incorporated so many provisions in order to have this gender equality, and then consequently for the empowerment of women. Now, gender equality, if we discuss in the constitutional perspective, this principle of gender equality is enshrined in preamble, the fundamental rights, the fundamental duties, and the directive principles in the Constitution of India. Have a quick look that what this principle of gender equality, how it is enshrined in the Constitution. What the preamble says, preambles has put forth, has given some kind of the goals which is to be attained by the society. What it says, that one of the goal of this preamble, one of the goal of the society which is mentioned in the preamble, it is the equality status and the opportunity to all the citizens, including the woman. With this goal, that every person, he should be treated, means the equality status, it is to when it comes to the man or the woman, when it comes to the giving the opportunity to man or the woman, yes, equal treatment will be given to the citizens. So here the main aim, the main goal is given in the preamble, and based on this principle which is enshrined in the preamble, the fundamental right chapter, the fundamental duty chapter, and the directive principles. All the principle is equally distributed, and it is reflected in the fundamental rights, the fundamental duties, and of course, this is the fundamental, that these are the directive principles of the state policy. The fundamental rights, specifically which deal with this gender equality, that is Article 14, 15, 15.3, this is 19, 16, 19, and the 21. There are the other articles which also reflects this principle of the gender equality. Apart from the, we will discuss the fundamental rights somewhat later in the later time. But as far as the fundamental duty, we all know, everybody knows that, yes, I am having this fundamental right. But how? All these, those who ask for their fundamental right, do they have that realization that they owe the fundamental duty also? There are fundamental duty, that is, the chapter is introduced, that is Article 51A, wherein the fundamental duties of the citizen, those are mentioned. One of the duty which talk about the practice, or this is the what is the, how you show that dignity towards the woman, okay? Because without giving the dignity, the person, or this is the single person, he cannot live without the dignified life, okay? So that dignity, it is equally sought by the woman also. Article 51A(e), the clause E, it asks, or that is to renounce the practices derogatory to the dignity of woman. So everybody has to renounce. This is the state. This is the state has to take initiative. This is the duty of the citizen of India to renounce if they are practicing any kind of some kind of the practice. They are going through that. They have to renounce that practice which is derogatory to the dignity of women. For example, this is the Sati Pratha which was then existing. How that Sati Pratha, it was renounced. But still there is some challenge to that, whether that Sati Pratha is, it is really renounced, and it is really not in existence today. There is a question on that, okay? Leave apart. The fundamental duty, which speaks about the renouncing the practices derogatory to the dignity of woman. Yes, here also the principle of gender equality, it is there. There are the other provisions in the constitution, like giving reservation to the woman in the panchayat and the municipality. Okay, this political reservation which is given to woman, it is equally adding to that issue of the gender equality. There are certain directive principles. The directive principles means these principles, this is the state, these are for the state. State has to take steps like Article 39A, which talk about that it is the duty of the state to direct its policy towards securing for men and the woman equally the right to an adequate means of livelihood. Here I want to highlight that it is the adequate means of livelihood. It directly related with the economic development of the person. Livelihood, yes, it is for the to have that life or to go with the dignified life, but it also contributes to the economic development of that woman, and therefore this Article 39A. 39D, equal pay for equal work, that both women and men, they should enjoy if they are doing the work which is equal in nature, then men and women, they should get the equal remuneration or equal pay. Article 39E state not to abuse the health and the strength of the worker, men and the woman. Means as far as the health is concerned, as far as the strength of worker is concerned, the arrangements which will be made, those will be equal for men and the woman. though these articles are not specifically pointing towards the woman only, but it is when it is specifically mentioned that it has to be equal, and therefore it becomes the state initiative, or it becomes the state responsibility or the duty to have all the means equal for both men and the woman. Yes, consequently it will be giving rise to that gender equality. Article 39A, which also talk about the equal opportunity, and it is securing the justice to all the persons, including women also. Article 42 state to make provisions for securing just and human conditions, and this particularly Article 42, it points towards that maternity relief. Maternity relief, which is according to that, means as far as the Article 42 is concerned, when this is the duty of the state to make provisions to give the maternity relief, here the condition of the woman, that she has become the mother, and when she requires some kind of the special needs and special provisions, then under that, this is the maternity relief, the provision is made, and accordingly then later on Maternity Benefit Act, it has come into existence. Article 44, this is state to secure for the citizen uniform civil code. Much uniform civil code, much debated issue, that why we want the uniform civil code and how is going to have the gender equality. Now, when this uniform civil code, when we talk about the uniform civil code, yes, here in the uniform civil code, which laws are included, that is the succession, the marriage, divorce, adoption, these kinds of the personal laws are involved. Okay, so unless and until there is a uniform civil code, unless and until all the states they will come forward and they will adopt this uniform civil code, that yes, all these laws will be equally applicable to the state, will be equally applicable to the man and the woman. There will not be any kind of provision in that uniform civil code which will be derogatory to the woman. So that kind of uniform civil code which is required. As far as the uniform civil code is concerned, I just want to share one thing, that during the constitutional debate, particularly uniform civil code, there was much objections were raised that to have this kind of the provision in the as far as this uniform civil code provision is concerned. But later on, the committee members, they were of the opinion that uniform civil code is not cannot be given the status of the fundamental right, but at least this kind of the provision should be incorporated in the directive principles, that is the policy. State has to take the policy, and with the passage of the time, then the state will have this kind of uniform civil code. The example that you must be heard about, that triple talaq case, okay, or this is something like the Sabrimala case. I will not go into the detail of these cases, but here the issues related with the woman, and this is the dignity of the woman which was under challenge. And in case of the Sabrimala also, the relief was given to the woman that they can visit, they can go in that temple. Triple talaq, yes, the triple talaq was held as a very void, and it should not be there. So under this uniform civil code, we can have such kind of the arrangement which will be equally applicable to all the religions, and the state will take certain steps. Hopefully, we can say that yes, the state will take steps for this uniform civil code. Article 46 is also talk about the educational economic interest of the weaker section. Yes, here the weaker section, it also includes the woman because of the secondary treatment given to the woman till this time. Article 47 state to raise the level of nutrition and the living of its people. Yes, it is very much related with this gender equality issue. Now, coming back to the fundamental rights, the constitutional doctrine of equality is contained specifically, prominently in Article 14, 15, and 21 of the Constitution of India. What Article 14 says? Article 14 says that there should be the right to equality before the law and equal protection of law, and which lays down the guarantee of equality to every person, though specifically it is not mentioned that the woman will be given some kind of the special treatment. But it is the very wordings of this Article 14, that right to equality before the law and the equal protection of the law. Right to equality before law, it is the very general one, and the equal protection of law, it is somewhat becomes the very specific one. So here, Article 14, it gives that right to the woman in order to achieve that gender equality. There are certain other fundamental rights specifically, which are very important as far as the discussion is concerned on the gender equality. That is Article 15. It says that it is not the discrimination, there should not be the discrimination on the ground of the religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. So nobody will be discriminated. Now here that segregation is not made, okay, that something will be done for the woman, something will be done for the children, for the other class of the person. Here, this is the discrimination, that is the protective discrimination. Okay, the question of the protective discrimination. Why the protective discrimination? Because you just have the, if you can read that Article 15(3), that the principle of substantive equality in favor of the woman in recognition of the historical disadvantages faced by them, and therefore empowers the state to adopt special measures for women. What Article 15 says, that there should not be the discrimination on the ground of sex. This is the very general one. But immediately under Article 15(3), what it says, that the state can have the special provisions for the woman. Why the special provisions? Okay, 15 is saying that there should not be the discrimination on the basis of sex, and immediately Article 15(3) is saying that the state can make the special provisions for the woman. So this is the protective discrimination. In order to protect the woman, this kind of the somewhat discrimination, that the special things, special provisions can be made by the state only for the woman and the children or the special classes. So this kind of the, I remember one case in that respect, that why this kind of that, why the special provisions, and as far as the employment is concerned, there was one case in that is the Punjab Excise Act. Under that Punjab Excise Act, by taking the help of the provisions under the enactment, there was a ban put on the employment of women as far as some restaurants are concerned, where the liquor is served. Okay. Now this kind means there was a ban on the employment of women in the bar or wherever there is a liquor is served. Okay. Now this kind of the ban, it was challenged by the woman that it is causing bar to the employment, and directly it is affecting our right to livelihood. So why this kind of the discrimination is made? When the men are allowed to have the employment in the bar, why there is a bar on the employment of the woman in the bar? Okay. So later on, this is whenever there is a question of the right to livelihood and the violation of the other right, always the more weightage is given to the right to livelihood. And therefore, in that case, the Supreme Court said that no, that cannot, there cannot, or there should not be such a kind of the bar to the employment of women in bar is concerned. Okay. So these kinds of the steps can be taken, and this is consecutively, or this is the states are taking the various steps. The judiciary is also helping out the woman as far as maintaining this gender equality, giving the chance, giving opportunity to the woman, giving opportunity or providing them resources for their development. Article 21 also recognizes the right to life with the dignity, which includes the right to livelihood. So this is very important, that right to life, it includes the right, that is the life with dignity. And when that dignity it can be given, when that dignity can be given, this is when the steps are taken to maintain the dignity of woman. So maybe that that step, it can be towards giving some kind of the reliefs, or giving some kind of the rights as far as her political life is concerned, her economic life is concerned, her social life is concerned, everything. So as far as the Article 21 is concerned, right to life, that is very much essential, and that life should be the dignified one. So all the opportunities, all the resources should be equally enjoyed by that woman. Now, when constitution is throughout the constitution, the provisions in the constitution, they are talking about that maintaining the gender equality. And in that line of action, the states are also taking, even the parliament, the legislations are made in order to have in order to give that, in order to maintain that gender equality, that yes, everything should be made available to the woman, because if that things are not done, then there will not be the empowerment of woman. And then if the lady or that woman, she is not empowered, then the question of her development, and consequently the development of the society and the nation, that will not be there. Okay. As far as the national level is concerned, yes, we do have the Constitution of India, which is called as the mother of all the laws. And these are the offshoots, that is, those are the legislations made by the state, specific legislation. Now, in those legislation, I can mention that is the Maternity Benefit Act, which gives the somewhat the relief to the woman as far as her maternity reliefs are concerned. That mother, she will be given all those advantages. Then Equal Remuneration Act, as far as this is concerned, which are specifically for the outraging the modesty of woman. Then that there are the provisions where, as far as the violence is concerned, violence against women is concerned, the specific legal provisions are there. There are certain specific enactments. Okay, so I'm talking about those enactments like the maternity benefit, equal opportunity, then indecent representation of women, this enactment, domestic violence case, Domestic Violence Act, and this is the other enactment, Dowry Prohibition Act. All these enactments are the social welfare legislations. By enacting these laws, the states, they have taken steps as far as achieving this goal of gender equality. Okay. Now, as far as the one international covenant is concerned, which is called as a CEDAW. Okay, the CEDAW, it is elimination of the all forms of the discrimination against women is concerned. This CEDAW, international treaty, international convention, it was adopted in the year that is 79 by the United Nations, made for 93. So much of time to ratify, talk about that there should be. That is a big question. That why 79th convention was ratified by Indian government in the 93. Now, this convention also talks about that all the economic and the social rights of the woman, those should be given. There should be the focus on the education, there should be the focus on the employment and the health and the economic rights of the woman. Those should get protected. And in order to achieve this aim of this CEDAW, the duty is cast upon the states to take the that is the required states, that is to form the legislations on the basis of this CEDAW. Okay. Now, as far as the gender equality is concerned, okay, the first session of my discussion, today's discussion, that I raised here, and I start the second part of my discussion, and that is the sexual harassment. Sexual harassment, which is considered this very issue, which is also involved in this CEDAW, that there should not be the discrimination on the basis of the sex, okay? And as far as her rights in the employment are concerned, economic rights are concerned, employment rights are concerned, her health is concerned, the states should take some initiative by forming some kind of the legislations. Now, what happened? There was one case happened, Vishakha. Okay, everybody, I think, I suppose that everybody knows that Vishakha judgment case, on the basis of which this is the sexual harassment enactment has come. In that case, Vishakha, what happened in the state of Rajasthan? There was one village, and in that village, a certain agent was appointed by the government in order to have the study on the issue related with the child marriage. Everybody knows that in the Rajasthan, this practice, it is still in existence, that is the child marriage. So in order to have some kind of the study in that respect, there was one person appointed, and that lady, she was the Bhavari Devi. Now, this Bhavari Devi, she had some kind of the study, she was undergoing that study. She has made some kind of her own findings as far as the child marriage is concerned. And during her study, doing the study, she came to know that one marriage of 9-month-old girl that was decided by this family. The family's name, that is the Gujar family. So as far as this child marriage is concerned of the 9-month-old girl, she reported that matter to the police. Instead of taking some actions by the police on the basis of this complaint, the police has somewhat played some delay tactics, and therefore there was no step was taken. No step was taken, and therefore what happened that the Gujar family members, they had done that whatever that marriage it was. Shall I continue? Shall I continue, sir? There is some kind of the disturbance.
Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you. So that Gujar family members, what they did, they found this Gauri Devi in that place, because when she was working, the Gujar family members and some other members, they gang raped this Bhavri Devi. And this issue of the gang rape, it was taken up by one social organization, Vishakha and others, saying that at workplace, when such kind of the treatment, some such kind of the violence is meeting with that lady, with that Bhavri Devi, then what is to be done? And they ask for the leave on behalf of that Bhavri Devi. Now here in this case, when the case came up before the court, Supreme Court, what happened? That the Supreme Court didn't find any kind of the enactment legislation specifically for that sexual harassment at workplace. Okay, though there is a provision under the Indian Penal Code, that is section 509, we talk about the sexual harassment in general. But as far as the sexual harassment of women at workplace is concerned, at that time, till that time, when the case was filed in the year 1992, there was no special enactment to tackle this kind of situation. So the Supreme Court take into consideration this CEDAW, that is the International Convention, wherein this international convention, by way of by ratifying this international convention, the Indian government has given the consent, has given the assent that we will have such a kind of the enactment or the legislation, and which was not enacted later on. So though the Indian government has ratified the CEDAW International Convention, but no step were taken by the Indian government or the other functionary to have this kind of the special enactment. Okay, so on the basis of the contents in the special enactment and the other provisions, then on the basis of certain directives, certain directions, and that those directions become the part of the law of land. That yes, if there is some kind of the harassment cases, it happens at workplace, then what kind of the measures should be taken by the employer of that workplace. So there, the definition under those directions, the definition of sexual harassment was given, then the directions were given to the employer that what kind of the measure he has to take in order to curb the sexual harassment of women at the workplace. After this Vishakha judgment, which came out in the year 95-96, and in that Vishakha judgment, the court has given the directions also that the state has to take steps in order to have the special legislation, special act. Okay, so this was in the year 95-96, and later on, this is after this kind of the committee was constituted, and then the bill was produced before the parliament, and then in the 2013 we got this Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Protection, Prohibition and the Redressal Act 2013. Mind well that in the 96, when the decision came and when the directions were given by the judiciary to have such a kind of the enactment, special enactment, in order to protect the woman at workplace, this is 2013, the morning of 2013 only. This is published in the 22nd April 2013. This much time the Indian Parliament took to pass and to publish this enactment. So we'll keep this thing in mind, that how much time period is required for the Indian that is Parliament to enact the very essential enactment, which is very basically related with the gender equality, because gender equality, it talks about that all the economic rights, all the health rights, all the, that is the opportunities should be given to the woman, so that she can work in that very safe environment, she can work to her fullest extent. Okay, so when this is the requirement, then why this much time is required, or it was taken by the state to enact the special legislation. Okay, so I think, in my view, this is again the victimization during the period, till the time 2013 was not there, and till the time the Vishaka judgment was not there, till that time this was the discrimination, this was the victimization of the woman was there. Now let us see that what this sexual harassment enactment says. It talks about the sexual harassment, that what do you mean by sexual harassment? It includes all these acts, that is whether directly or by implication, if one behaves like that, that is the physical contact and the advances, or a demand or request for sexual favors, or making sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So all these physical contact or advances, that should be related with that physical, as far as the sexual intention of that particular respondent is concerned, that particular not victim, it is the offender is concerned. So if the act of the offender, it comes within the category, then yes, this would be amounting to sexual harassment. To give more clarity that what types of the acts come under this category of sexual harassment, this is the threat about the employment status, offensive or hostile environment if it is provided, then this is making sexually colored remarks. Yes, detrimental treatment is given to that lady. The promise for preferential treatment, that if you do or if you come with me, then I will give some kind of the preferential treatment in the employment. I will give this kind of the benefit, that kind of the benefit. Okay, so this acts come under this sexual harassment. Humiliating treatment which affects her health, yes, it includes in that sexual harassment. Now, very importantly, this enactment, it covers the woman who is at that workplace, okay, and who is working in that place, and who is sexually harassed by the respondent. Respondent means is the person who commits that act, sexual harassment act. This enactment, it extends to the persons, those ladies who work in the dwelling places or houses. यानी हमारे घर में काम करने वाली बाई, she is also covered under this sexual harassment act, because this is again the maid के लिए our house or that dwelling place where she is giving her services is the workplace. Okay, so it matters that whether the lady, she is from that what you call that, she is doing her work in the office or not. Okay, so this is the very peculiarity of this enactment, that is the workplace means the work, or there is a no age bar, okay, of any age, means maybe she is the girl, maybe she is the lady, adult one. So age is no bar, whether employed or not. If that some girl of the age, okay, if she is working, then again that case will be covered by चाइल्ड that is the labor act के अंडर आएंगी वो. And if that girl is she is sexually harassed, then that case will be come under that POCSO also, okay, which is related with that child. So as far as the agreed woman under the enactment, the lady of any age, whether she is employed or not, whether she is just visiting the place of that workplace. Okay. Another peculiarity, that is the work person or the lady or the that woman is working at that place as an employee, or she is not working as an employee. She is also covered. Okay. So this is the dwelling place, house, whoever is working as a maid, she is covered. The lady who is working as an employee at that workplace, she is covered. The lady who is just visiting that place, workplace, but now she is across with that Sexual Harassment Act, she is also covered. The workplace means any department, organization, unit owned or controlled or financed by the government or any government company, or this is the local authority, financed maybe wholly, or this is somewhat substantially. Any private sector carrying on the professional, educational, financial, or the other activities. The workplace includes the hospital, nursing homes, any place visited for the purpose of employment. Okay, now take for example that one company is there and that company is providing the transportation. Bus provide kar rahe hain, that is taking the employees to the place of workplace and then taking them back to home. Okay, if such a kind of the transportation is provided, that bus is provided, then if any incident happens in that bus, that will be considered as that this is the sexual harassment at workplace. Means that bus also come under that definition of workplace. So any place visited for the purpose of employment, if that employee in the course of employment, वो कहीं पे भी जा सकता है. Okay, she can go, or she can go to some other unit of that office, some other branch of the office during her working hours. She is visiting that other place. कोई government office में जा रही है, वो government office में उसका काम है. Okay, so anywhere she is going and she is then come across with this sexual harassment, all those incidences will be covered. Any dwelling place and the house that is covered in that workplace. As far as the prohibition, prevention, prohibition, and the redressal mechanism which is there in that enactment, in order to have that, अगर कोई ऐसी machinery बनाई जाती है, if that machinery which will look after that what incident exactly happened, how it happened, who were the persons involved. Okay, so under the enactment, the provision is made that the employer, he has to constitute one committee, that is the internal complaint committee. There is no requirement that every time the lady, she will go to the police station. Yes, all the rights are preserved, all the rights are given to the lady. She can go to the police as well, okay, to file the complaint against that sexual harassment, because under IPC, sexual harassment is the offense. So she can go directly, she can file the complaint with the police. But as far as the employer's duty is concerned, what the steps he has to take, okay, so the employer has to constitute one committee. This ICC committee, it will be consisting of the one presiding officer, she has to be the lady only, then not less than 2 other members, those should be from that from the employees only. Okay, must be having some kind of the knowledge, law knowledge, या फिर वो social work काम में रहने चाहिए. And another member is required, that is the NGO, one member from the NGO. Okay, so this will be the constitution of that internal complaints committee. Employer with more than 10 employees has to have the constitution of this ICC. This is the bounden duty of the employer having more than 10 employees to create the ICC. That is the duty of employer. Okay, and of these members, half of the committee members should be women. This is the requirement, that is the restriction. Apart from this ICC, which the office of which it can be in that employment place. Okay, if there is another machinery working, that is at the district level. Okay, so there has to be one district officer who will be creating one local complaint committee to redress these kinds of the matter, that is sexual harassment at workplace. Okay, so district officer, he can be the magistrate, or he can be the collector, he can be the some other person of this rank. Okay, executive magistrate, or this is the collector. So those though will be designated as a district officer, then they have to create one local complaint committee, of which this is the constitution, that one should be the chairperson, the lady again, then one member working in the nearby area, which is in that social work may jo involved hai, she has to be the woman. One member belonging to SC, ST, OBC, she has also to be woman. That member has to be the woman. Then there is a ex officio member, that is the social welfare office जो रहता है, उसका जो officer रहता है, yes, he has to be in that committee, and one member having the law, the legal knowledge. So this is the constitution of the local complaint committee. Now this committee, when this local complaint committee का role कब आता है? That is when there is a no ICC formed. ICC means internal complaint committee, which the employer he has to form. Okay, so if that complaint committee is not formed, or the complaint is against the employer himself, ठीक है, employer है जो ये सब committee constitute करता है, and he refer the matter to the internal complaint committee. If that employer he himself involved in that sexual harassment act, then such kind of the matters should be referred and should be filed before the local complaint committee. Okay, so two machineries are working. One is at employment place, which is called as a ICC, and the second is the local complaint committee, which is looked after by this district officer with the help of one nodal officer. वहाँ पे एक nodal officer रहता है. That nodal officer is appointed at the taluka level, tahsil level, and this nodal officer, he takes all the matter, and then refer the matter to this local inquiry committee. Okay, so the matters related with the this domestic worker, okay, those also go to this local complaint committee. Okay, so where the ICC is not formed, secondly, if the complaint is against employer, or this is the case of the domestic worker, ये सब matters जाएंगे local complaint committee. बाकी other matters, these are the internal complaint committee. The complaint should be in writing. If not, then the committee should assist the aggrieved person to make the complaint. So a committee, local committee members, they will help that lady to have it in writing. One restriction is there, that when this matter to be mentioned, or matter to be reported to the internal complaint committee, this is the 3 months time is given. On the happening of the incident, within 3 months, the lady should go and file the complaint, or if there is a series of incidents, that is sexual harassment का act है, वो series of incidents में आ रहा है, then the last instance जब हुआ, उसके within 3 months, the lady has to file the complaint, and the matter will be referred to the ICC. Okay. Now this time limit, if it happens that within 3 months, if the lady, if she becomes sick, after this act of sexual harassment, उसका mental balance चला जाता है या फिर something like the medically unfit हो जाती है, like this cases. Okay, so in that, if she could not file the complaint within 3 months, then what will happen? Whether she will not get the relief? No, this cannot be, or this should not be. Here, the ICC members and the chairman, they will look for the reason why the delay is happened, and if they feel that yes, there was a genuine reason that why she could not file the complaint within 3 months, then that time limit can be extended. Sometimes it may happen that after the incident, the lady, she is not in a position mentally or physically, she is not in a position to come and to file the complaint in writing. Then in that case, the other persons, they can give her helping hand. Sometimes it may happen that because of this act, now the lady, she is dead. Okay, so in that respect, this is the legal hair, they may come before and they can file the complaint. There is a time limit given that within 3 months of incident, there should be the filing of complaint. Then once the complaint is filed, then this is that complaint copy wo jayengi other party ko within 7 days. Then reply file karega other party, that is the respondent, within 10 days. Inquiry should be completed within 90 days from the date of the filing of the complaint. And जैसे ही inquiry complete हो जाती है by the ICC or the LCC, then inquiry report committee ने 10 दिन में देना चाहिए. Okay, and in case if the ICC is giving out some kind of the recommendations, and to those recommendations ICC ने जो भी recommendation दिया है, अगर if the parties are not happy with that, then they may file the appeal within 90 days from the date when they got that recommendations, so copy of the recommendations. Okay, within 90 days, they have to file the appeal to the court or the tribunal. As far as the tribunal means, it will go according to that, what is the service rule of that employee. Okay. Sometimes the settlement also happens through conciliation. So this very good provision is given, is mentioned in the enactment. Then before go for that, all the inquiry proceeding and all that, if the lady, she feels that yes, I should not go for all this process, and then the matter should be, there should be the conciliation. Okay, so with her consent, the matter can go for the conciliation at the request of that aggrieved woman. But the thing is that the care has to be taken that there will not be any monetary settlement in the form of money. कोई भी settlement नहीं होगा, because otherwise the things ऐसा हो सकता है that there will be some kind of pressure created on that aggrieved woman that you take back or don't go for that complaint, and we will have some kind of the conciliation, or some money is provided that you take the money and chup raho. Okay, so to avoid all these kinds of the things, this is the settlement can be reached. If the settlement is reached, then they have to record that settlement, send the copy to the employer or the district officer in case of the LCC, and provide the copy of the settlement to both the parties. Later on, then no inquiry if the settlement arrives. There is a procedure is given, inquiry procedure is given, that the matter, this is the something like the complaint is filed, then the as we discussed that both the parties are given that opportunity to put their case. Sometimes it happens that the settlement condition तो हो जाता है, but as far as the recommendation जो आता है, settlement conditions आता है, the parties, they don't comply with those settlement conditions. So if there is a non-compliance of the settlement conditions, then the party वो उन्होंने proceed होना है committee के तरफ, and the committee again has to proceed to make the inquiry. Sometimes it is the complaint is forwarded to the police. Okay, if she feels the complaint to the police, it is when the lady she gives the consent, then complaint can be filed. When prima facie the committee feels that there is a prima facie case that the matter can be sent or should be sent to the police, the committee refers the matter and files the complaint with the police. In the case hearing opportunity, it should be given to both the parties. The committee can give the relief to pay sum to the aggrieved woman. It is somewhat interim relief, you can say, as a in between, at the end of the inquiry also, the committee may say that this is the loss caused to that victim lady, and the respondent who has committed that act, he has to pay sum to the aggrieved woman. So that power is given to the ICC. During pendency of inquiry, the lady victim, she can ask that मेरी तो भी transfer कर दो, because this is not somewhat I am not comfortable after the incident happened, that I will work with this person. Okay, so transfer this that person or transfer me to the other place, other new place, other unit or the branch of that workplace. So such kind of the relief can be given. If the lady, she is not comfortable to come to work and she wants leave, then up to 3 months leave can be given, and that leave will be the extra leave apart from the for what leave she is entitled for. Okay, so regular leave to usko milegi, and this is the up to 3 months, and depending upon the seriousness, that leave can be granted to the lady, and other reliefs can be also given. So this will be during the pendency of the inquiry. Once the ICC gives a recommendation, जैसे भी recommendation आते हैं in the favor or against of that lady, okay, employer has to comply the recommendation. If the committee says that no guilt is found, ठीक है, ये जो person जिसके against में complaint हुआ है, he is not guilty, then accordingly the matter will be informed to the parties. In case ऐसे recommendation आते हैं that this person is guilty, okay, then in that case employer, as far as the service rules are concerned, ठीक है, service rule में जैसे दिया है कि क्या एक्शन लेना चाहिए, क्या नहीं लेना चाहिए, accordingly employer has to take action as per service rules if the person is found guilty. Madam, excuse me. Madam,
Hello.
what can extend for?
Hello.
Hello. Madam, what extra time you can give me?
10 minutes more, ma'am. 10 minutes,
10 minutes
more.
more? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, madam. One important issue, that is in the enactment, it is said that when the complaint is filed, what are the contents of the complaint? What is the identity of the aggrieved person? What is the identity of the respondent or the any witness which is called? ठीक है, ये सब matter में information relating to conciliation हुआ है क्या, settlement हुआ है क्या, what are the conditions in those conciliation, inquiry में क्या हुआ, recommendations क्या है committee के, okay, or what the action the employer has taken. The restriction is imposed that these kinds of information shall not be published, communicated, or made known to public or media. Otherwise, there is a one general provision, okay, that is called as a right to information. Under that right to information, the employer or that government person or any authority under the government they have to, if any information is asked, then under right to information, they have to disclose that information. Even if under that right to information application, no ground is given that for what ground I want information, even if that ground is not given, there is a duty of that office, right to information office, to disclose, to give that information to the applicant. But to this provision under RTI, the particularly the sexual harassment act के अंदर जो भी complaint हुआ है, जो भी procedure हुई है, to that RTI provisions are not applicable, and therefore complaint regarding aggrieved person, regarding the action taken, if anything is asked, then the employer has to say no, that committee has to say no, that office has to say no, that it being the very the information which cannot be disclosed, and therefore we are unable to disclose this matter. However, though under RTI and under the Sexual Harassment Act, this is that particularly this kind of information cannot be disclosed, but if the information is asked by the victim lady or that lady, or against whom that action is initiated, okay, means the respondent. If both this person or this is the lady, she is asking that I want the copy of my complaint, I want the list of the witnesses which were produced before the committee, I want that that what the recommendations were given by the committee, I want that copy. Okay, if the lady she is asking, then yes, this information should be provided by the ICC to that lady. Okay, lady you say, because this is for the natural justice, because she wants that information in order to defend her case. अगर वो आगे जाना चाहती है, if she want to file the appeal, if she want to file further, okay, against the decision of the ICC like that, and if she want, as far as the natural justice is concerned, then particularly to this lady, the information can be given, but the information should not be given to any public, any media, in any manner. So these are the ICC, that is the can conduct the inquiry, conciliation can be there. Then if the ICC feels that ये जो complaint हुआ है, that is the false complaint, then ICC may give the recommendation to the employer that this is the false complaint, and against that complainant, you can take the action as per the service rule. If the false evidence is given by party or by witness, then again, the employer can take action. And as far as the sum is concerned, in the previous slide, I shared the information that the sums to aggrieved woman can be given. So as far as the amount of the sums is concerned, so it should be depend upon that what exactly the loss is caused to that lady, what is the capacity, income capacity of that respondent, is that offender, okay. So respondent, not offender, this is the respondent terminology used, that respondent. What is the mental trauma caused to that lady, okay, to what extent. All these things will be the grounds to decide the amount of the sum, okay. Employer has to, this is the compliance is required, employer has to comply with the recommendations. If the employer failed to constitute the ICC or to take any action under this enactment, then penalty is imposed. Penalty can be imposed up to rupees 50,000. If the employer is repeating the same thing without taking any action, okay, and this is the punishment, or that whatever the penalty imposed, this can be doubled. The effect can be that deregistration, registration uska nikal diya jayega of that employer, particular employer, if that workplace is the company or any license is given, then that license can be withdrawn, can be revoked. So these kind of the penalties are imposed on the employer if he doesn't act according to the provisions of enactment. One thing is that no court can take cognizance of the offense save on the complaint made by the aggrieved woman, person authorized by the ICC. So if the lady feels that yes, I have to go to that police and all that, okay, then only the court will play its role. Otherwise, not. Okay. If the court plays a role, then this is the Metropolitan Magistrate or the JMFC. They will try this kind of the offense, and it is the non-cognizable offense. Within 5 minutes, I'll just sum up, okay, and I will come to the third section of my discussion, and that is the UGC prevention, prohibition, and redressal of sexual harassment of women employees and the students in the higher educational institution regulation 2015. Okay. Now, these regulations are framed by UGC to be made applicable to all higher education institutions. As we belong to the higher education institution, okay, all the colleges which have arranged this webinar, myself and the other teacher faculties and the students of the colleges, they come under this UGC regulation 2015. These UGC regulation 2015 are made by the UGC, okay, in order to give effect to that Sexual Harassment Act. Okay, so we are governed, means all the higher educational institutions are governed by this UGC regulation. More or less the provisions are same. The only some definitions are different. Like as it is related with the higher educational institution, the definition instead of the workplace, this is the students are also involved and the employees are also involved. Therefore, the definition of campus is given. Okay, so it includes the lecture hall, the toilets, and the account. These are the account counters. Okay, everything is that is included. It also includes the transportation. It includes the field trips. It includes the cultural festival. When the students they go for the cultural festival, they go for the some short-term placement, internship, camps. Okay, whenever they are participating in all these activity as a capacity of the student, or for that matter, if the employee they have gone for these kind of the activities, they become they are governed by this UGC regulations. Employee means as far as the some trainees, apprenticeship, the regular employee or the contract basis employee or the teacher or the non-teaching, everything, everyone will be under this definition of employee. The definition of sexual harassment, it is same as which we have discussed under the enactment. Now the student, which student we are talking about, that who comes under this enactment. So the student who have admitted, who is admitted, duly admitted and pursuing the study in that particular college, including the short-term training programs. He is the student for the meaning of this regulation. Not only he, but the student who is in the process of taking admission. Okay, nowadays we are having that process, taking admission, online admissions and all that. The person who has registered and he is in the process of taking admission, although not yet admitted, but he comes in the category of the student within the meaning of this act. This is the workplace as far as the employees are concerned. ये सब आता है उसमें, department, organization, sports institute, any place visited by employee in the course or arising in the course, arising out of or in the during the course of employment. कि वो कहीं और जा रहा है, in some other institute हो जा रहा है, but he is in that capacity as a employee of that particular workplace जा रहा है, then yes, he is covered. internal committee, constitution of internal complaint committee. Yes, there is a little bit addition to that. Okay, here three students should be the member of this internal committee, internal complaint committee. The only thing as these three students, they will be selected. Okay, election होगा and then they will be selected on this particular committee. लेकिन ये तीन students है, they will be involved only when the sexual harassment of the student, matter of sexual harassment of student is involved, then only these three students will be called. Otherwise, these students, presiding officer, faculty member, two non-teaching employees, and the NGO member, they will deal with that matter. Half of the total member should be women. Term is 3 years of all the members. So these are the three key obligations which are imposed on this executive or the chief authority, executive authority of the HEI, that is a higher educational institutions, that is prevention, prohibition, and redressal. Employer and institutions have to take steps for the preventing these kinds of acts. They have to prohibit these kinds of acts, and they have to redress this act. The act is committed. These are the some of the duties of the employer of that is the HEI, higher educational institution. Duties of employer and duties of HEI means duties of employer under enactment and duties of HEI under the UGC regulation. Okay? So this is that they have to give that safe working environment to the employee. The thing is that if there is any penal consequences, they have to make it very public or notify which is the constitution, what is the constitution of the ICC, who are the members, then what are the penal consequences if you commit such a kind of the acts, sexual harassment act. Then these are the everything it needs to be displayed. In order to have this prohibition and the prevention, the employer and this is the HEI, they have to organize workshop awareness programs like that, which is I am happy that such kind of the workshop means though it is the webinar, but such kind of the awareness program that is included regarding the sexual harassment. Then providing facility to the committee members, giving help to that aggrieved woman to file the complaint under the IPC if she feels, and treat the sexual harassment as a misconduct under the service rule. So in that case, they can have कौन सी आप punishment दे सकते, that is the उसका जो increment है that can be withheld. Then some kind of the there can be the service rule में उसका कुछ तो भी mention आ सकता है that such and such person was punished like that. The entry to that effect can be made in the service book. So these kinds of as far as the service rules are concerned, the punishment can be given. One peculiar thing which I want to bring to your notice, that as far as the HEI, that is higher educational institution, is concerned, there is a mention of the student. Okay, so that doesn't mean only the girl students are involved. We have come to know that this is not that the sexual harassment is done only against the girls. The sexual harassment is done against the male students also. The sexual harassment is done against the transgenders also. Okay, so under this regulation, peculiarly the direction is given to this HEI or whoever is the maybe the principal or this is the executive council, that they have to act decisively whenever there is some kind of the gender-based violence is reported against any sex, may include the sex that is the female or this is the male or this is the transgender. Okay, so as such there is no somewhat what you call that is the some restriction that only sexual harassment cases against a woman or the girl that will be entertained. Such kind of the cases which happened against the male and the transgender, the directions are given that the principal or this is the executive authority has to act decisively as far as the gender-based violence of all sexes are concerned. And in that case, if the student, any student is found guilty, okay, then that ICC can treat it as a disciplinary violation of disciplinary rule. Then the punishment can be the person, he will not be allowed to enter the campus. There can be some suspension, restriction, like that. These kinds of the punishments can be imposed as if the respondent is the student, and in case if the respondent is the employee, then as per service rules, the punishment it can be imposed. So this is all about the gender equality and what the states have taken as far as this particular issue of the sexual harassment at workplace. Because now the lady or the woman, in order to exercise their economic rights, in order to exercise their social right, in order to exercise their fundamental human rights with respect to the gender equality, when they have come out, then they want the safe environment. In that safe working environment, they can give their best. They can give their best. They can protect their own economic right. They can protect their right to livelihood. They can protect their right to life with dignity. Okay, so many issues are involved when we talk about the gender equality. Now the question is, as far as the Indian situation is concerned, and in between I give some kind of the instances when there is a failure of the government or the state in order to provide, because it is not that you are getting provided with those all the opportunities. What is required, the timely providing the opportunities, timely the rights should be recognized, timely the all the steps should be taken. If the incident happen and then later on you are coming with the solution, okay, so that is not expected and that is not required. In order to achieve that gender equality, I have just mentioned one aspect of that related with the employment, related with the economic right of the lady. Okay, how the economic right of the lady in a very stable, in very sound, she can be said to be the empowered one. Okay, so this is that when the CEDAW was also ratified by the Indian government, the ratification was with some reservation. It is not that the whole that international covenant of all discrimination, that is elimination of all form of discrimination against women. Okay, no, the Indian government has ratified this particular international convention with two declaratory statements and with one reservation that in case if as far as agar personal laws able to give effect to the particular provision of that particular covenant. Okay, so this kind of the reservation the government is keeping, they are not giving full effect to that the covenant, and therefore I feel that this is somewhat some restricted uh, restricted attitude it is shown by the government. And It is not that just the government is responsible and there is some kind of the hurdles are there to achieve this goal of the gender equality. This is not just the state. We cannot say that it is the look after or this is the lookout of the state only. State has to take the actions, and we will just watch that what the state is doing in order to achieve the goal of gender equality. This is the responsibility, this is the duty of each and every one of us to help the state as far as the implementation of law is concerned, as far as implementation of the policies are concerned, policies which are framed in order to achieve that goal, in order to achieve that gender equality. So this is not just the responsibility of the state, but it is the responsibility of each and everyone to renounce, to act according to that fundamental duty which I mentioned, all the derogatory, this is the time that is everybody has to take action. This is the chance given. This is the right time for each and everyone to take action. That is to not to have any kind of the practice, though it is at home level. Okay, at home level, at workplace, yes, at workplace, these are the some kind of the regulations we are having, some kind of enactment, legal provisions are there. But as far as the home is concerned, because each and everything, it starts from the home. When you give that kind of the environment inside the home, you give that feeling of dignity to that woman. Okay, so if that lady, she is well confined, she is well feeling well at home, that yes, my dignity, it is protected, and that's why I am empowered. Okay, so this is the I leave it up to the students, those who have joined this webinar, that is now it is their turn to take the things in their own hands and act. Thank you very much for giving the patient listening and for this such an extended discussion. Thank you so much, organizers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam. You are sharing deep knowledge of gender equality with us. You are described about economic, political, and social rights of women and in sexual harassment issues. Thank you. It will be benefit for our student also and a community also. Now a little note is that if you have any questions from the participant, you can type them into the chat box. Now our session is open for question and answer, and I will hand over this mic to the Rakesh Thakre sir and Banginwar sir for the question answer session. Thank you so much.
Madam, one question from Dr. Nazia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. What do you think that gender equality and diversity will affect the job opportunity? Would you put some light on this? Khobragade, madam.
Yes,
the
sir.
question from Dr. Nazia from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
This is gender equality and the diversity.
Diversity will affect the job opportunity.
As far as the diversity is concerned, we in India, we do have that diversity. As far as the diversity is concerned, and as far as the when I speak about that, some constraints are there, some religious constraints are there, as far as the job opportunities are concerned. Now, in case if that gender equality and if the gender equality is achieved, then that lady, she will be having all the opportunities, she will be having that safe environment, she will be having everything which is required for her development, okay, which includes that opportunity, job opportunity is concerned. But as far as the diversity is concerned, that diversity I don't think will come in a way of getting any kind of the job opportunity. Because if that gender equality, if it is achieved, then all the rights, all that options are kept open, that those will be given to her. So I don't think that diversity will come in a way of this getting jobs and all that.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Another one question from Dr. Archana Meshram on YouTube. What is the difference between gender equity, gender equality, and woman empowerment?
As I have already explained, gender equity, it is something like giving fair treatment, or this is the process of being fair to men and women. Okay, so this is the general one. This gender equity, it gives, right, it leads to gender equality. Gender equality, it is this concept, it is more or less discussed as far as giving equal opportunities in the social life, as far as the opportunities are concerned, as far as the resources are concerned. So gender equity, it leads to gender equality, and this promoting gender equality, it gives rise to the empowerment of women. Empowerment of women, it is the something like, it is one step ahead. That is, autonomy is given to the lady, that she can flourish in all the way, in all the angles, through all the angles.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to congratulate to you for a nice and eye-opening talk on gender equality. Questions, ma'am?
Rakesh sir, one question is there in YouTube.
I'm taking that question. Ma'am, there is a question from Dr. Shama Murarkar, ma'am. She want to ask you, Constitution has given every rights to the women, but still there is an increase in number of every types of the crimes against women. What is the solution to this situation to maintain her dignity?
So Constitution has given every right, okay?
Yeah.
Depending upon the Constitution, or to keep the mandate of the Constitution, the states have enacted various legislations, and through these legislations, the protection is given. Means in the several aspects, the protection is given to the woman. Where the question comes, that is the implementation of that enactment. As far as the implementation authority is concerned, whether that authority is not implementing, or these are the citizens, they are creating hurdles in the implementation. Okay, just take for the example, that is the Dowry Prohibition Act. Under the Dowry Prohibition Act, this is mentioned that giving or taking the dowry, that is offense. But still that practice is there, it is in existence. Then who are responsible for this? We have the law, the machinery is there to implement, but it is the person to whom this law is made applicable. These persons, they are not following. वो चोरी छुपे करते हैं. Okay, they do that giving and the taking dowry, but without disclosing. सरेआम नहीं करेंगे वो, because if सरेआम वो करते हैं, then they will be, that is an illegal thing. That is, they will be penalized. So this is the responsibility of the society. This is the responsibility of the persons in the hands of whom this is the implementation procedure. It is the implementation, it lies. This is the cumulative. सबके तरफ से सब आना चाहिए. It is not that one, you cannot say that yes, वो पुलिस तो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है. Okay, it is your duty also to inform. आप करते हैं क्या inform? if you see that there is a such kind of the giving and the taking of the dowry, do you inform the police? No, you take backhand. You never go forward. हमको क्या करना है? Okay, that हमको क्या करना है? This policy one should be scrapped out.
Thank you, ma'am. Bangiwar sir, is there any question?
No, sir. Right now, no question in the Zoom as well as on the YouTube also.
Okay. One question I would like to ask to Khobragade ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you have mentioned Article 15 and Article 15/3. Can you summarize that Article 15 and Article 15/3? What is the basic difference between?
What Article 15, 1 and 2 say that there should not be the discrimination.
Yeah.
On the basis of race, caste, sex. Okay. Now, particularly, we will concentrate on that sex. Okay.
Sex.
So there should not be the discrimination on the sex. What Article 15/3 says that the state has to take steps for making some kind of the special provisions available to the woman.
Right.
So one may say that this is going contrary to the 15(1), because there they say that there should not be the discrimination, and 15(3) says that the state can make special provisions, special legislations for women, but it is said that the 15(3) it is the discrimination, it is a protective discrimination. The protection, in order to give protection. Why the protection? Because that lady, she was treated as a somewhat discrimination was given. This is the secondary treatment was given. There is a historical background. Why this 15(3) that is inserted? That is the difference.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. And one more thing I would like to ask you. How to identify the false cases coming from ladies?
How to? This will depend again upon the evidences.
It depends
false
upon evidence.
Yes. Means it will vary from case to case. You may find that this is the false case on the basis of the evidences of the witnesses when they are saying, or this is the some victim lady, she is giving some different versions that this happened that time and this happened that time, like that. So there is a variation in the statements given by this lady in that inquiry, during the inquiry procedure.
Actually, there are
somewhat paper अगर कोई उन्होंने paper दिया है, some document is there, so that जाली document है. So this is kind of false evidences are given.
Right. Thank you. Actually, we have seen number of the cases are there in which false allegations have been raised by the ladies against working place persons. So
this is the respondent.
That is respondent. Thank you.
This is the circumstantial evidence only will come to help. कि इन्होंने ऐसा किया था क्या? If they say that it is otherwise sexual harassment cases में कोई witness रहता नहीं available.
नहीं. That is.
But sometimes it is when they give that chronology of the events. They say that yes, some kind of the writing में उन्होंने कैसा कुछ तो भी कहा तो भी लिख के रखा है, like that. But always this is the enactment which is in the interest of the woman. Okay, so जो वो कुछ बोल रहे हैं वो एकदम से we cannot wipe off or we cannot ignore the statement made by the lady. And this is the ICC also takes all this thing into consideration कि अगर कोई lady कुछ बोल रही है, then this is something that should be looked into very seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Any question, Karuna ma'am?
Yes.
Viva ma'am?
There is question, ma'am. That we have internal complaint committee at our college level.
Okay.
And we have to maintain records of sexual harassment
cases.
Yes. So my question is how we have to deal with such cases, and up to which limit we have to deal with such cases at college level, and particularly which is situated at the village level. In that case, how we have to deal with this such cases.
No, if any complaint comes to you, तो वो आपको तो सब registered वगैरह, you have to maintain the registers.
Yes.
In that register, you have to take the entry of that. Entry आती है, then it is that ICC, they issue the notices, they issue the letter to that party कि this kind of the complaint we have received. I said that this is the writing में चाहिए complaint हमको.
Yes. Yes.
Oral नहीं चलेगा. If she is giving oral one and she is that I am not able to write, okay, so the ICC members, they have to give assistance to that lady. So everything should be in writing. So जैसे complaint आती है, okay, you have to make the entry in that register and then you have to proceed. The ICC has to proceed. This
So
is
how we will
sometimes the
proceed,
complaint
ma'am?
is filed with the principal. Then principal refers that matter to ICC.
Okay. Okay.
And then
So
later
we have
on,
to. So we have to send these cases to the police station, ma'am?
No, not necessarily. If the lady if the lady she feels that, or if she says that, or in case the prima facie आपको लगता है कि yes यहाँ पे ये offense हुआ ही हुआ है, prima facie आपको लगता है ऊपर, then you can take the help of police or you can go forward.
So is there compulsory to take the such cases from college?
प्राइमा फेसी आपको
college
लगता
only?
है तो प्राइमा फेसी आपको ये सब जो कंप्लेंट आपके पास आई है, ओके, एंड दिस इज द रिप्लाई आपको जैसे आता है फ्रॉम द अदर पार्टी, तो प्राइमा फेसी अगर आपको लगता है कि यस दिस इज वेरी सीरियस मैटर एंड ये पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म करना ही करना है, देन यस यू हैव टू इन्फॉर्म द पुलिस.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Now I would like to request Dr. Banginwar sir, NAC coordinator, Arts and Commerce Science, Pulgaon, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Okay, thank you, madam. So a last part of the webinar comes with the vote of thanks. First of all, a good afternoon to all of you. Honorable resource person, Dr. Pravina Khobragade madam, all the 3 college principals, management committee, worthy teachers, and my dear friends and my students. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution to behind the curtain who make this event a success. I, Dr. Banginwar, NAC coordinator, Arts and Science College, Pulgaon, take this opportunity on the behalf of all these 3 consortia college, Arts and Science College, Pulgaon, Yashwantrao Chauhan, Art, Commerce and Science College, Lakhandur, and Vidya Bharati College, Asseli. I extended my really a hearty vote of thanks to our knowledgeable Dr. Pravina Khobragade madam. He enlightening the various issues towards the gender equality, who spread his valuable time with us from their busy schedule and grace this webinar. Today we have an opportunity to hear your thoughts and enlightening our mind, and have shown us a new path. My gratitude to all IQAC coordinator, NAC particularly the coordinator from all these 3 colleges, the Women Cell convener, NSS program officer, and Women Cell Empowerment coordinator. Because of his hard work, and today's session will be the wonderful. I not forgot, without this a pillar stone, always the backbone one. I special thanks to our respected principal sir, Dr. V.V. Hadge sir, Dr. Dadve sir, Principal Vidya Bharati College, Selu. They are working as a catalyst to stimulate us to our best and understanding and pillar of their strength one. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thanks our loving teachers for their entire support. I also thanks those peoples who are present behind the curtains. Naturally, our technical support team. Without these technical aspects, live streaming is there. Either it may be the wonderful making of today's feedback wall created by Professor Davande sir. Thank you for their creativeness. And of course, behind all this thing, we work in a new approach with the new horizon in futures also. Thanks to our management of 3 colleges one. I also thankful to Dr. R.G. Bhoyer sir, who gives the good platform to us to take such type of the events. I also thankful to Dr. Khobragade sir, management, Yashwantrao Chauhan, Arts and Science College, Lakhandur. Thankful to all each and every the IQAC member, but I never forgot the 2 names. One Dr. Davande sir as well as the Dr. Rakesh Thakre sir, IQAC member, NSS program officer, who gives the boosting to take the different types of the activities which are mentioned in the NAC guideline. So with the permission of the Dr. Khobragade madam, today's session will get over. Thanks to all the participants who are joining. Already the feedback link is sent in the YouTube as well as on the Zoom platform. This link is only activated for 1 hour after the end of the webinar. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to Nikose madam.
Thank you, sir. It's already over.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I requested Davande sir, please stop the streaming now.